by the NIIA, I believe the Insurers Association of Nigeria, yet Nigeria's insurance penetration rate has been described as critically low, hovering around 0.34% of the gross domestic product. That's at 2023. We do not have a more recent number. It's one of the lowest in Africa, far below the continental average. The gross premium written, the industry has been seen as growing strong, especially since this announcement, of compelling, especially third-party insurance. We've seen a lot of people, forced to adopt it. So the GPW for full year 2024 hit 1.56 trillion. That's over $1 billion and indicates a 56% jump from what it was in 2023. The first quarter of this year saw a record 769.2 billion in GPW, an increase of 63.4 year-on-year. Dominant segments, mostly non-life segments. Obviously, the third party, that's contributed 64% of total premium pool. Within this, oil and gas portfolio is the largest contributor, followed by the fire and motor insurance. Total assets in the sector reached 4.2 trillion in the first quarter of 2025, showing an increase from the previous year. And then there are key statistics and growth rates of the penetration and all of that. But let's find out if those playing in this sector are happy with what these numbers tell us or the implications of it. And we have with us here the Managing Director of Scrella Technologies, Mr. Gbenga Adigun. Mr. Adigun, good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So we've seen in recent times that the penetration is still low.
Yes.
But we've seen GPW increase, more adoption, also especially with the threat that people are putting over on our heads. Yeah. Are you happy with the status of adoption and activities in the insurance sector?
Fantastic question. The answer is definitely no. Have we grown? The answer is yes, a bit, but can we do better? The answer is a very big resounding yes. The insurance penetration on the continent as a whole is about 0.5%. It's about 1%. In Nigeria, it's about 0.5%. No, sorry, I take that again. On the continent, it's about 3%. Now, if we remove South Africa from that, it drops abysmally low to below 1. So gross written premium is calculated as the total premiums collected across all different types of insurance, oil and gas, marine, aviation, life, non-life, the rest of it over our GDP. So that means insurance contributions to GDP is very low at 0.5. Now, what can we do to make it better? There's so much we can do. But the same things that has been bedeviling the industry for a long time, those fundamental issues are still there. And that's what the new NERA Act of 2025 is trying to address. So issues like, for example, in consumer apathy, consumer education, people don't know what insurance is. And when they even know, sometimes they don't trust it. And when they even hear about it, they don't have access to these services. And that's why companies like us are coming in to try and use technology to distribute efficiently, to innovate around distribution where people can have access to it via their mobile phones, via any digital channel, and also trust that when they have a claim or an issue, they are going to be attended to.
But even that, isn't that expecting too much? I mean, even for fintechs and all, a lot of people are skeptical. They say, oh, if anything happens, I don't have an office.
Yes.
That kind of sentiment. We have it a lot in Nigeria. So now you're talking of technology with insurance that people never really trusted. And I've told a lot of insurance players that please, you guys should make a lot of noise about the premium that you pay.
Yes.
Then perhaps that could win the trust of more people, because people just believe I do it because I'm compelled to. For instance, to have a third-party insurance, but if I want to access it, then it becomes a long story. So perhaps you guys should make more noise about that. But talking about using technology now, doesn't that need another level of convincing of the customers?
Fantastic question. So the economy we are playing it is not exactly a trust field. I say that with all carefulness and responsibility. The insured, which is consumers like you and I, don't trust the insurer, the insurance companies. The insurance company also don't trust this side enough.
Oh, tell me about that part. I don't know about that part. I honestly don't.
So there's a lot of fraud in the insurance industry worldwide, because you are paying a little money, which is called a premium, for a promised larger benefit if a defined risk crystallizes. So because of that, everybody wants that benefit, even when they've probably not done what they're supposed to do. It's a contract. So there's a big trust deficit, which is also born out of education. It is not in our culture in this side of the world to naturally look to insurance as a financial safety net, as a financial mechanism that protects your asset, that can help you even literally create wealth. Because they say in this side of the world that you are just one illness away from poverty. Somebody in the family falls ill and the entire life savings of 10, 20 years is wiped out. Insurance could have provided that. Is a trading, is an exchange of uncertainty with certainty. So it brings stability, both in from the family to the business to even parastatals to government, everybody. So it should be a part of our financial lifestyle. So that trust deficit that is there, what we're trying to do with technology is to let people know that if you come into this financial safety net risk management mechanism, you are trading the unknown, which is I can have an accident, I can fall ill, I can die, my property can catch on fire, anything can happen. I'm trading that unknown huge loss with a non-defined, investment.
It seems to be forgetting that for a lot of Nigerians, God is insurance.
Exactly. I was going to say that because that is why the industry has not grown. People are like, God forbid, we are literally competing against God forbid.
You can't even tell someone to write their will, their estates.
Thank you very much.
You're wishing me evil.
You're wishing me dead. But this is where life insurance comes in, because I could just leave the studio now and be driving off and the trailer runs over me, I'm gone. And if I'm the breadwinner of my family, immediately the chance of my children having a better life is already challenged. And that is an unknown that can crystallize at any time. But if I had life insurance, even if I die, I can have annuities like an alternative to pensions. My, what's it called? Keep getting payouts. I can have a planned, defined way of say, okay, this is how you should take care of my children, pay their school fees, pay for health, pay for that. So insurance, in many ways, really, 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 really helps the economy, and it keeps businesses stable. You've heard of markets where there are fires, and somebody who told you he had a balance sheet of maybe 500 million, there was fire in the market, that amazing trader doing many things, employing people, all of a sudden his business is gone. All the people he's employed, they go home they don't have anything to do. So it's something that everybody needs, from individuals to families to businesses to corporations. It is important. It should be part of our financial lifestyle.
And you feel that technology should be able to get more people to get on board it. How? Because we're still struggling with big bodies, like, for instance, the stock market. We are preaching the message of technology so that it will be easier, especially for the younger people and people who are young at minds, to get on board and trade and sell whenever. And we're still doing T+3 when it comes to the stock market. So if we have the big stock markets not able to efficiently attract more investors and stockbrokers through technology, I wonder what insurance can do. Is it an app or?
Yeah, so for example, what Skrilla set out to do is to provide insurance for portable electronic devices. There are over 200 million devices in Nigeria alone, across phones, tablets, computers, laptops, and all these people, my first rodeo at business before Skrilla Technologies was staff come to me and they say, my phone is broken, can I get a salary advance? Can you please help me with money to fix my phone? And it is happening like 2-3 staff every month. I'm like, this is a real problem. Some people's life just come to a pause. No matter how rich or poor you are, if your phone falls down and breaks, even if you can buy 20, immediately your mood will change for that day. First, you're like, oh, I have so much information on this phone, I can't afford to lose it. So what we've done, for example, is you download an app which runs a remote health check on your phone. If you pass the test, you pay the premium, you get your policy certificate. smart distribution models like this makes it important for people to adopt technology because they don't have to come to us physically in the office. We don't have to go to them. The app is the touch point where they just talk to, the app does all that checking. And there is information there, and it is easy, it is convenient, it is do it yourself in less than 1 or 2 minutes.
So assuming that I lose my phone or my phone gets bad and I have this app and all, then how long? Because these are the issues, you understand?
Yes.
How long before I can replace my phone? What do I have to do? Do I have to go to police station? You know, those kind of
fantastic question. In fact, fantastic question. The not so huge success that the industry has faced is due to the claims experience. That claims experience also widens the trust gap that people have in insurance businesses. And that's why when we set out, we ensure that we came up to give a service promise of just 1 hour. From when you make a complaint, your phone is fixed. In just 1 hour.
In an hour?
Yes.
Should I spoil my phone so I can test it? Because that sounds too good to be true in Nigeria, you know.
No, so these are the things that if you do over time, one customer after the other, one satisfied customer after another satisfied customer after another, they will begin to become your disciple and tell people about the wonderful.
And you guys should pay for airtime and talk about it on our show.
We'll come back and do that. But today we are talking about the industry as a whole, not just even Skrill like that. Everything you own, from your car to your house to your devices to your business. If you are moving goods from one place to the other, goods in transit, insurance should be part of your lifestyle. It's a safety net. It's a risk management tool that everybody should inculcate in their financial life. It should not be something that is optional. So because there are many things that can go wrong that you do not know that's outside your control.
So there's also another part that causes, builds this distrust, which is, I think they call it the small print or the fine print. Yes. So somebody says, I have insured my house.
Yes.
And then when there's an incident, then you are now reminded that, you only insured it against fire, or you insured it against flood, you did not insure it against robbery, things like that. I think those are other issues that build this distrust between the two parties involved.
You're very correct. But if you go by the definition of insurance again, the promise is a promise of protection against a defined loss. That loss must be defined. For example, if it's auto, theft, loss, fire, it must be defined. What might be outside that definition is civil unrest. If I drive into a riot and they destroy my car, I'm just giving an example, that may not be there. So it's very important that you deal with parties who are clearly defining what is covered. It is very important. But a lot of people just say, okay, they just signed a contract, they're not checking those things. So insurance companies now know better. Trust me, they may have done a lot of fine print, things in the past, but they now know better that to drive adoption and improve and create and let more people come into this safety net, we need to better tell them very clearly, unambiguously, that this is what is covered. It must be defined. So that is what insurance is. And you're paying a little to get a lot more later if a defined risk crystallizes. So it's something that protects, and it's something that everybody should adopt and endorse. It is not optional. We should not wait for the government to make insurance compulsory with your car, with your house, with your this. No. On your own, see it as a necessary and financial protection mechanism.
Then COVID taught us a lot of lessons.
Yes.
A lot of things happened. I know some people invested in agriculture. I've forgotten what they call it then, where you're not a farmer, but you... Crowdfunding, exactly. And when all of that happened, people couldn't access their farms, things went really bad. People who thought they had insurance were disappointed. So I wonder if from a stakeholder, a player's perspective, there's been changes to accommodate things like those, unforeseen COVID kind of situation.
So again, that COVID brought about a lot of changes to how industries did business, because a lot of things were unprecedented at that time. So even the multiple lines of contracts that you sign, some things were still not covered. COVID revealed a lot of things. But again, it comes to the matter of trust. This is where I thought, they are very correct, there are real life examples of that back in 2020, But I thought some insurance players should have overlooked some of those things that were not exactly covered, because this is something that affected everybody, and should have just called the partner, the insured, to have a sit down and say, let's have a compromise. This is not exactly this, but this is also not your fault. So let's have a middle ground. We've seen a lot of revolution in the space. However, if a space has been at 0.5% penetration for the past 5 decades or so, it means you cannot continue to do things the way you've been doing them for the past 50 years. Otherwise, you should not expect a different result. So if you want to drive adoption today, you have to be your customer's friend. You have to be proactive. You have to clearly spell out to them what the insurance contract they're going into nicely covers. It has to be clear, no ambiguity. And you keep reminding them. I also look for ways to reward them, especially if they've been good customers. You have a customer who has been paying premium for his car for 3 years, back to back. He's not had an accident. He's driving properly. You have to go above and beyond to keep such people, because it's very easy for them to just think out of it and say, I'm a careful driver, I didn't have any accident, I didn't make any claim, I'm just contributing to the pool to other people who are making claims. People like that should be quickly recognized, and that is where technology and data comes in. You use all that technology and data to see how you can incentivize such ones, to see how you can give them discounts on the next premium, to see how you can do something for them. So
I really wish there would be a lot of attention given to that, because I think that's a common scenario. Someone has been contributing to the pool for years and has not made any claims. I mean, I would not purposely hit my car, because I want to make claims. Perhaps the insurance sector or its industry should look at a way of compensating. That could also be an incentive for people to not just participate, to even be more careful, because it even costs insurance less to compensate than to replace.
Fantastic. So exactly, and I dare say today, we thank God for technology. Nigeria is one of the hotbeds of technology, from fintech to any space, whether I like it or not, edtech, health tech, the rest of it. I'm very happy with what we are seeing. The industry is really, really revolutionizing. People are coming up with bright and beautiful ideas, and that is where the insurtechs come in. They are nimble, they can move faster, they can deploy technology, they can use technology to scale, to distribute, and a collaboration with the traditional insurance players who don't move as fast because of obvious reasons. They are big. When you are that big, it's not easy to be that nimble. So we are seeing more collaborative efforts, co-creation of products, and collaborative efforts to help drive adoption, to help delight the customer. Because the success of any insurance business, no matter how big or small, is in the claims experience. What happens when I call you and tell you I've had an accident? Do you delay me for 2 weeks? Because that car might be what I'm using to move around, to even literally feed myself. What if it's an Uber or something? So we must continue to ensure that we delight the consumers, people who are buying these contracts, these insurance covers, to make sure that they are really, really happy. They see it as this thing, I cannot live without it. So, and it will help them to begin to think less of, it's not my portion, God forbid, it will not happen to me.
Blood of
Jesus. Which are the cultural nuances that we have been facing in the industry.
All right, thank you so much, Managing Director of Trailer Technologies, Mr. Benga Adigun. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, now let's take a break. When we come back, the World Bank's Nigeria Development Update. That has a lot of goods and not so goods. We'll talk about it after the break. Please stay with us.
Partnership